Venus in Gemini. If you have this placement, then your feminine side is a bit of a flirt. And by bit, I mean a lot. To them, love is banter. Seduction begins in the mind. I believe that it must have been a Gemini and Venus that invented Tinder and probably all forms of online dating. With online dating, they get exactly what they need in order to know if they're attracted, which is that kind of intellectual banter. They get to know who you are in terms of your sense of humor and the way that you perceive the world and your intellect. They can be kind of goofy. They like to keep things light and fresh and fun. Their feminine side is a bit of a trickster. They're really just trying to make you laugh. They want the world to be bright and shiny. You know people that are called bronies? Yeah, a lot of Venus Geminis that I've met that are men are bronies. Strange, but true. When I picture this in terms of like some sort of Greek mythology, I would probably picture two Roman gods talking on their iPhones and flirting with each other. Yeah, I know that's not exactly a classic Roman plaque you're going to see anywhere, but that's because Gemini is always forward thinking. They like to be in the current in terms of friendship, romance, all of that kind of stuff. They like to use technology and looking forward. So this is the opposite of old-fashioned here. They might have been the first people to invent divorce. They have trouble settling down. They kind of go from flower to flower and don't want to be weighed down too much. If you want to keep them interested, it has to be a constant sort of intellectual stimulation and seduction. And also, they are going to want you to keep things light and fun, refreshing. They want to try new things. So in bed, they might want you to always kind of be more adventurous and try stuff. They often have kind of a wicked sense of humor in a good way. Sometimes they're kind of like to tell dirty jokes and stuff like that because they like to make light of things, including sex. This type likes to steer away from things that are too heavy in terms of romance and friendship. So this is your friend who's going to be goofy and silly and a bit childlike. Since Venus is related to art and aesthetics, this personality probably likes brighter colors, stuff that's more fun, like polka dots or, stars and stuff like that. They would love to seduce you through text. Having a physical distance is really fun for them to play around with because it's to see how much their mind can stimulate just through words. They are often comedians with their friends, and they like to make new friends. If you put a microphone in front of them, they're probably just going to come alive and sparkle. Even if they're a quieter personality, generally, their spontaneity can come out through social settings with friends. They like to be hip and know the current stuff of what's going on. So they often relate to people that are younger. If you're a man and you have this position, you might date people that are younger because you relate to that youthful aspect to women. You're not attracted to women that are too serious or too emotional. You're more attracted to women that are kind of bright and sparkly. They like to laugh. They like to have a good time. They like to try new things. And they share that love of comedy that you do. These are people that have kind of a twinkle in their eye. Also, if you're a man with this position, you're looking for someone who's open-minded, who can teach you things mentally and stimulate you, which is way more important than looks. But when looks enter the picture, you're probably more attracted to someone who's a little more tomboyish because she's more into mental stuff than she is doing her makeup and looking pretty and looking like that perfect Roman statue, You're more into a woman who's constantly reading articles and learning things and has a lot to tell you and likes to talk and likes to banter. Venus in Gemini loves puzzles. People are puzzles, friends are puzzles, lovers are puzzles. Someone that can keep them guessing is always rewarding for them. They are lively, they are talkative, they are a whirlwind, they are bright. And when you tap into that friendship aspect, they are just so full of energy. You're often going to find this personality online. They just love to talk to all different people, all different walks of life, and learn new stuff. This is more of a social networking type of friendship. Although they are extremely social, they might go more into the internet realm than in person. They can talk to more people. Although there are also Venus Geminis that are extremely social and always the life of the party as well. They have a very rapid effect on people. People pick up on their energy quickly. People like them, and it's easy for them to make friends. The only downside with friendship is that they might not follow up because it's so easy for them. It's like, oh, well, if that friend stops talking to me, I can just grab another one over here, you know. There's so many friends. Okay, so a Venus in Gemini typically has a lot of trouble being faithful. So they might have multiple marriages in their life or multiple long-term relationships. Sometimes this is a good placement for open relationships, if you want to give that a try, because of course Gemini is the sign of the twins. The mind here needs constant stimulation in order to be seduced. A woman with a Venus Gemini is a woman that just keeps you entertained. She constantly is able to wrap you around her finger and keep you on the treasure hunt. And she can seduce you with her voice. She knows how to get you excited without even physical touch. The things she says, she's the master of flirtation. They often seem younger than they are because they're very young at heart, especially when they're in love. They seem to like age backwards when they're in love. They give friends and family a jolt of energy, just like a Venus in Aries. So you feel younger when they're around. A woman with this position can keep like 5 romances going on at once if she really wanted to. I'm thinking of the Judy Garland character in Meet Me in St. Louis. If you've ever seen this movie, which you probably haven't since you are more into the futuristic kind of stuff, but you should totally watch that movie if you are a Venus in Gemini. She's the social bee, she's the trendsetter, she's always up to the latest things, and she's very clever. She won't take no for an answer. If she's attracted to you, she will make it her mission to win you over, no matter what. If you have this position, your feminine side is a chameleon. It's like an actor. You can become who you need to be to seduce somebody. And you love that aspect of yourself because it's colorful. You're constantly changing. You can fit exactly the mood that that person is looking for. A Gemini Venus is also very tongue-in-cheek about romance. In those initial stages, they really don't take it seriously. It's more of a fun activity. This position is a bit of a magician. They can turn life into a carnival. When they're around, they will pull you into fun and fantasy so much that you could be at the DMV and feel like you're at a carnival. That imagination of a Gemini, when it's in full swing, the mind takes over. You can be anywhere you want to be. Their home is probably more about communicating, so they'll have tons of gadgets to communicate. They're not so much about like the cozy kind of thing. They're more into learning. So lots of books, lots of iPads and those kind of things. They also like silly stuff. They might get you joke gifts. If they're trying to seduce you, they might get you something silly to make you laugh. A Gemini Venus loves options, and that doesn't go for just in romance, that goes for friends, art, that goes for their home life. It's really hard for them to pick one thing. Aesthetically, they'll be like, oh, well, I like industrial, and then I like, you know, mid-century, and I like this, and I like that, and it's really hard to just settle with one idea or one concept or one person. They're very open-minded, and they don't want to be caged in. Because they're multifaceted, they often have different cliques that they can kind of be this part of their personality when they're with this group, and then this personality when they're with this group. Money, love and money, right? With money, they are usually very successful when they use their intelligence in the world of business. They're idea people, they're forward thinking, and they can make a lot of money with their intellect because of their positivity. The only hard part for them is to keep their interest long enough to actually finish what they set their mind to. As a friend, this is a great person to go to when you need someone to cheer you up if you're down in a rut. All right, this is my take on Gemini in Venus, and come back for the next video. Subscribe.